Hey everybody, how you doing on this Wednesday, June 9th, right? I had a dream that I wanted to share, and before I tell it, I want to tell you like about myself, how I've been feeling, and then the dream, and then maybe the after, what I think. So, first of all, I repeatedly, I'd say at least 5 times for one and maybe 3 for the other. The 5 times is dreaming about someone stealing my car. The 3 of them are, at least 3. I don't remember, but these are reoccurring. So 3 of them are someone stole my purse. Okay. So what's been going on with me lately is, okay, the dream last night was somebody stole my purse. Okay, but what's been going on with me is that I've been going through a lot of changes. When I looked it up online what it meant, which I repeatedly do that too, and then I forget what it says. But it's like losing your self-identity and stuff like that. Um, you know, something traumatic happening in your life, stuff like this. Um, there are a lot of traumatic things in my life. Some might not think they're traumatic, but they feel traumatic because when you have no answers for certain things, like say, for instance, if your kid's blowing up all the time, or they're disabled, and it's a different world out there with that, and sometimes you feel inadequate and things like that. But yet things are getting better and more routines are falling into place. And I haven't been able to tell you about all that much, and I would love to. Um, but myself, a lot of times I feel like a failure. And I know we're not supposed to compare ourselves to other people, but sometimes that's really hard to do. So our son's 23, and just like when they were born, if they walked later in life or crawled later, or didn't talk or what, we went through all that. So he's come a long way. Autism is very hard, and a lot of times you might feel a failure as a mother because you see other people, you know, reaching those normal milestones. Okay, so a lot of times I feel inadequate, and there's been a lot of changes going around trying to fix the backyard. Like the front and the side look great, but the backyard we just never really had the time for. But so there is a lot of changes. Okay, so here's the dream. I was in some kind of huge store, and it was a lot of clothes in it, but they also sold other things. I had some things that I was looking at, and I had some things I wanted to buy, but I don't have much money, and I've been wanting to buy things anyway. And so I'm in there, and I'm looking all around, and there was just this awesome stuff in there. I mean, it was just great. It was the best clothes and things I've ever seen, and they actually had my size, and I was very, very excited. And so I'm shopping, and I was with some other girl that I don't know who, and we both had our purses sitting about 5 feet apart from each other, kind of like on a bench where you could sit on when you try on shoes or something. So I was all excited about the clothes, and I look over and go to get my purse thinking I'm going to go buy them, and my purse is gone. And inside ourselves, we don't leave our purse sitting anywhere, but probably back in time we used to and didn't have to worry so much. But I usually always strap it around my neck and under my arm, so I wouldn't even do that. But anyway, I guess I did. And someone stole my purse. And when I noticed it was gone, I glanced over, and that girl, my friend, whatever, her purse was still there. And I was thinking, oh shit, you know? So I'm freaking out, panicking inside, and there was these counters like in the middle of the store in every different area, you know, all around where you could go pay wherever you wanted. And I went up there and I said, someone stole my purse, you know, really sucks. I don't know what to do, if I should make a report or what, but you know, I was like right over there and it's gone. And I was bummed because now I can't get my clothes or whatever it was, you know what I mean? So there was a guy, and I can see him, like he had kind of like real brownish, lightish brownish hair in it. It was kind of a lot of hair, and a bigger guy. And he said, okay, can you come over here? And I like walked down this hallway a little bit, and never went into a room, but I can hear him talking to me down the hallway and saying that if I don't put in a complaint and don't file a report, he'll pay me $50,000. Oh my God. So I'm going through my mind thinking, what is this all about? Why is he telling me that? You know, I'm like, oh God, I'm going, well, what's in my purse? I'm like, you know, my driver's license, my social security card, I don't know, bank card, you know, things like this. I'm like, okay, a couple things of makeup. And I'm going all through my mind thinking, well, it's really no big deal. I could get a new license. I can get a new social security card. And so I sat there for a while, and then I thought, another thing, I thought, why is he doing this? Why is he offering me $50,000? I thought, does this happen often? Because it sounded like he didn't want me to file a report. He said the only way I would get the $50,000 if I didn't file the report. And that's why I was going through my head trying to think about it, you know, like, should I or shouldn't I? I mean, you know, I need the $50,000. Shit. I need 100, you know? So what happened was I told him, okay. And I took the $50,000, and now I have to go home, and somebody else is driving. I assume it was my friend, and I'm in the seat, and I'm looking in the envelope, and they were like $500 bills. Now, you guys, I've never even seen one, you know, just, I don't even know. So here I am, I have that money, and I can't file a report and everything else. And that's the first time out of at least 8 times altogether with my car being ripped off consistently. My car is always getting ripped off. My purse has only been like 3 times, okay? So, but I've never had it to where somebody offered me, you know, kind of like a settlement like that. And so I didn't really understand it, but you could tell they didn't want me to do the report. So inside my dream, though, I'm saying to myself, why is he doing this, blah, 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 you know, like I already said. And it was just really weird to me. And I thought, well, maybe they can't have another report for that store, because that's what was in my dream. It was like they couldn't have another report because they're going to get closed down. Okay. And then I told my boyfriend about it, and he says, maybe one of the employees stole it. And I said, wow, you know, maybe that would be why they wouldn't want me to make a report. And also because there were so many reports of that happening all the time, then they might get closed down or go out of business, you know. So very, very interesting, you know. And I don't know, it kind of makes sense to me. Because a lot of times I don't feel, you know, like I meet up to people in the world. I feel, you know, like inadequate, alone, all alone. I feel like I need answers on how to deal with things a lot more than I notice others do. And it's hard. And I'm very, very tired. I'm exhausted. So that's where the inadequacy comes in and things, because I feel like I can't do what I used to. So there is a lot of changes in my life, and they are very deep and big to me because I just never imagined my life being like this. I was off to starting my own business. I had one, but I wasn't licensed and bonded, and I had 7 houses, and I also did offices. And the day I missed, somebody stole $400 out of the office manager's locked room. And if I wouldn't have called the next day, because the alarm was going off again, it did this constantly, so I had to call her all the time. So when I did call her the next day for the alarm, she says, "Were you at work yesterday?" And I said, "You know what? No, actually I wasn't. It's the first day I've ever missed." And what do you know? It's the first day $400 was ever stolen. So, I mean, I had gone to her and everything and asked her if that I could keep doing it and, straight up through me. And I wasn't licensed and bonded, and I couldn't afford the bonding at the time. So, I was out of a job. But I still had my 7 houses that I cleaned on my own. And when I had to quit all that for, I've cleaned hotels, offices, private homes, residential, I thought I was on my way. But with the kid having so many problems in school and having so many rashes and have so many stomach problems, and they kept calling me, I didn't have no one to go get him, and no one to watch him because he wouldn't stay with anybody. And, it just all had fizzled out. Eventually I lost my houses. So, I took on a newspaper route for a long time, for 10 years. But before that, I used to work at Life Skills. It was with developmentally disabled people. A lot of them were retarded, and a lot of them had autism. A lot of them were 50 and over. They would have seizures, all kinds of stuff. Couldn't walk, in wheelchairs, and I was there a long time. But I went down and talked about the things that were going on that weren't right. For instance, somebody handing out meds that wasn't even a nurse, not being on the floor when we can be sued, and it'd be me and this other girl out of 8 or 10 altogether, and all of them would be up in the office for about an hour as their consumers were on the floor. And so when I went to say something about it to the head honcho, they fired me. But I collected unemployment for, I don't know, 5-6 months. But I thought that I was on my way to something, And I always worked, and except for 2 weeks when I went back to school to graduate, I had to get started in the school. And after 2 weeks, I got a job at Farmer Jack working part-time, So a lot of things have just been rough, and I feel, inside myself inadequate. Things aren't fair, things like that. So, changing my mind about things and thinking how good of a parent I am and how much patience I have and what I've taught the kid and how far he's come along, and he didn't have to go in a group home, and things like that make me feel a lot better. The only problem is I don't get paid for doing that. So I've had to give up a career, give up any kind of college courses or trade school, or because I love computers. That's what I liked second. Or to become a parapro or anything. I had to give it all up. And now I think it's too late because I've fallen into a lot of other problems that can't really be said online. So, but yeah, the dream is weird. And the other times, for instance, with my car getting ripped off, it's always a different car. It's never the same. I don't know what color my purse was in this dream. I don't know who the girl was that was with me. I don't know what store it was, you know. So it was a pretty short dream, but it was very detailed, and I very rarely wake up remembering a dream. Uh, Maybe one line of it or something. So that was really weird, and I just wanted to share that with you, and maybe you might sometimes feel like I do, not good enough or inadequate, and whatever, lonely, burdened, tired, exhausted. Maybe your health is getting worse, like mine. Um, I want to let you know that it's super, super hard taking care of people with disabilities. And, you know, I know you can do it because I did. And, for instance, there'd be 2 hours, 2.5 hours at a time, 3 times a week that you'd get into a rage. And this went on up until he was 20. Still has it once in a while, but not much. So, routines are important, sleep schedules, eating, and everything, but you can't do those schedules when they have issues, and you don't know which one to do first, which one to worry first. But mainly, for instance, if it's sleep, getting the sleep right, well, I was told he has a sleep disorder, so, at that time, and trying all kinds of pills, but when you would try the pills, he gained tons of weight, 2 months, 70 pounds plus. Then the third month, even more. So other things come up in between, and the priorities that you had often change. So that's hard to deal with. And you can't get things right because it seems like you need an army to help you. So that's when you're, you know, in the home. But working for a company isn't as hard because you get to come home and you don't have to take care of them 24/7. I'm not discounting. It's hard any way you put it, but try not to get down on yourself so much. Um, if there's anyone that can help, um, try not to be embarrassed uh, for them to come into the home like I always was, because it's holes in the walls, moldings broken, furniture, everything, just hard. Costs lots of money. You run more water, you run more electricity up at odd hours, you have to buy bigger clothes, special foods, send money to the school. You're put on the back burner, and it's hard to find support out there, especially, also if you have a small family. You need a few people to help and rotate on and off, and it's practically impossible, but I know you can do it. And for anybody out there that has an autistic child, if you can get them on the computer as soon as possible. Brandon has been sitting on the computer since he was a year old, but that's with me sitting him on my lap. I swear to you, for 12 hours at a time, not being able to get up and pee, not being able to get up and get a coffee. If you did, it would be, a screaming match. You have to find something they are totally interested in. Like we used to do the Blues Clues ever since he was a year old. He was watching it since he was 6 months old in a bouncy chair that my grandma bought him. And it vibrated, and the batteries, the D batteries, would run out. I swear to you, like every day or two. And so D batteries, Nutramigen formula, that was $18.99 a can, and you would need, I don't know what, 6 cans a month? I don't know. I started him on juice very, very early. His teeth got all rotted. I had to do it because he had stomach issues. He was in the doctor 3 times a week at the pediatrician. He was to a neurologist. I'm telling, it was every day, every day. Didn't sleep through the night till 10 years old. Didn't start talking again until 6 years old. He said 7 words right before a year old and never talked again till he was 6. He's come a long way. He's great at computers. He's friendly with people. He's more loving. You could never touch him or hold him as a baby. I thought that was a thing that was natural in life that I didn't get to do. So the bonding didn't really work out too well. And other people would get offended also because they say that he just tolerated them. Well, I'm sorry for that. As a parent, I didn't even get to hold my own child. So, you know, I try not to get upset, but I think imagine what the parent goes through, you know. A lot of things are said to you at parks, at grocery stores, at school, everywhere, about how they act up. I would need things from the store, and we were just a quarter of a mile away, and I would push him through. He wouldn't go in the cart, but I would get him in there. The whole time he'd be screaming I'd make it quick, like 10 minutes. Fast as I could, screaming child, through the checkout, everything. Everybody looking. They knew me at the Kroger. Or at least they started to get to know me. And you have to tell people what's wrong, and you have to go through the same thing every time, and I got sick of repeating it. You know, they think that you beat your kid, they think that you don't discipline them correctly. You know, it's all those things being said to you. You try not to take personal, but when everybody's saying it, you feel like, oh wow, you know, you could think it's you. And when you can't get the diagnosis, we didn't get it till 2.5 years old, October of 2000. He was born in 97. You're thinking you are nuts. You know, you're thinking I am the worst parent in the world, you know. It's not true. None of it's true. As some people say, don't take things personal, and there's even just all over the place. It's practically impossible. I quit counseling because I didn't have a support system. I went there for 2 years at one time, and I went there for, I think, a year and a half at another time, and I was on every medicine in the whole world, it seems, and none of them helped the problem I was having. Maybe the Zoloft would be to where I didn't cry as much, but if I seemed to be Steph, tomboy, big badass, bitch, never talk to anybody, stay to herself type of person, it's because that's how it's been for all these years, and we're only just now starting to be able to live. So I appreciate all of you and your understanding. I don't wish it on anybody. Nothing. No kind of hard times. Thank you, God, for how far you've brought us. Please help me to get rid of the anger and the jealousy and the doubt and the short temper. Most of it's inside my head or I don't always react out, but it's there. So they say unless you act on it, you're really not that wrong, but I can't even stand it being in my head. So, I wish it could go away. But you learn a lot, and God will provide, in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you for watching. See you later now. I wish you the best of luck. I sincerely do. From the bottom of my heart.